Buying a house is probably the most expensive purchase that you'll ever make, unless your name is Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. And if you're anything like me and you're in the UK and you want to get onto the property ladder, then you're in the right place. Because today we're going to talk about how to save up to buy your first house in 2021. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Max Talks, a channel where every Sunday I make videos to help you get to where you want to be. So before we start, I do want to clarify that I'm not going to be talking about the actual process of buying a house because I am nowhere near an expert on that, but more about how we can save towards the position where you're able to buy a house. So, up until November 2019, if you were based in the UK, you could get the Help to Buy ISA. What is this? I'm going to quickly run through it because it's no longer available. If you don't have one at the moment, then you can't get one, but it's still worth explaining. So with this ISA, you could get up to 25% back bonus from the government for every £200 that you save per month. And the maximum bonus that you could get on this Help to Buy ISA in order to buy a property is £3,000 overall. So this was a really great way to build up money towards a house. But as I said, it's no longer available because it's been ended. And if you like the sound of the Help to Buy ISA, that's now been transformed into what's called a lifetime ISA or a LISA. Now, if you don't know about this, get to know about this because it's a fantastic thing and it's like the Help to Buy ISA on steroids because you have the same bonus, so it's still 25%. However, there is a lot higher limit. So the limit on this one is you can put up to £4,000 of your money in per year and you'll get 25% back from the government on that. So you could potentially earn £1,000 per year towards buying a house. However, what I should clarify at this point is that you also use the lifetime ISA towards retirement if you so wish. And obviously I'm not going to go into that too much today, but there's a lot of different videos and resources that you can get on that. And if you're saving up for your first house, this is a great way to build up money. However, there is one thing that I should mention. In order to get a lifetime ISA, you have to be aged between 18 and 39. The earlier that you can save and the earlier that you open your account, the better. And you can get two different types of lifetime ISAs. So you can get a cash ISA where it just kind of stores it and you get a basic rate of interest and you get the bonus paid into that. And then you can also get a stocks and shares lifetime ISA where you can invest it or get it invested for you into a variety of funds and you also get the bonus on top of that. So personally what I'm doing is I have a cash lifetime ISA and then I have a separate stocks and shares ISA because you can mix and match the both. So that in the lifetime ISA, if you maximise that out, you can put in £4,000 and then in the stocks and shares ISA, you can put in £16,000 because in the UK, we get £20,000 to put in ISAs across all of the ISAs tax-free. So to me, this makes the most sense. Something else which is partially the reason that I'm making this video is the Help to Buy equity loan was announced to be extended until 2023. This was due to end this year and earlier this week it was announced that the Help to Buy equity loan was going to be extended and slightly adjusted. So if you're not aware of what the Help to Buy equity loan is, what is it? It's basically a low interest loan that goes towards buying a house. You only need to have 5% worth of the deposit of the house in order to access this funding. And then the government will lend up to 20% of the value of the house. For the rest of which is not covered by you or the loan, you'd get a mortgage to make up the other 75%. The Help to Buy equity loan is amazing for people looking to buy property over the next few years. So if you already have savings, maybe you've already used a lifetime ISA or the Help to Buy ISA, maybe you're in a position now where you're looking to buy. This is a fantastic loan scheme, or even if you don't have those savings, this can help you to get onto the property ladder in the first place. So it's free money, go get it, it's amazing. However, there are some things to bear in mind. In this latest update of the Help to Buy equity loan, then there are a few regional caps which you can see on screen here. And it kind of varies based on where you're trying to buy the house and the locations in which you're trying to buy the house. There is 0 interest on the loan for the first 5 years because the government wants to incentivize people in order to get onto the property ladder and to give people the money and the means in order to do this. However, on the 6th year, after the 6th year, the interest on this loan will be 1.75%. And then every year after that, it will be RPI, retail price index, plus 1.75%. So if you are thinking about getting this loan and you're thinking about getting on the property ladder, can be a great way to go, as long as you know that you're going to be able to pay off and maybe start paying off some of that loan sooner rather than later, so that you avoid the interest. Because at the end of the day, if you're not in a position to kind of get the finances in the short term and you want to get on the property ladder, great way to do it. And if you're able to pay it back sooner rather than later, you can get the money, do your thing, and then get out before the interest is charged. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So the next way of saving to buy a house is through shared ownership. No, this is not where you get two of yourself, you get yourself cloned and then you both buy it equally. Unfortunately, it's not that simple. Basically, shared ownership means that you part purchase the house in accordance with a housing association. So what does this actually mean? You can basically purchase, so say you can't afford to buy the full value of a house or put the deposit down or whatever you want to do right now. Maybe you want to move in a few years or something like that. You could buy, say, 25% or 75% of the property, and then you would rent out the 25% that you don't own from the housing agency. So while you get a pretty low rent rate, which is obviously great for you if you're looking to save a bit of money, there are also some limitations. So if it comes to the point where you want to sell the house, it can be more difficult to do so, because if you're trying to sell the house, then you can only sell it to people who are in a similar position to you and who are looking for part ownership, especially if the housing agency wishes to keep their share. So it kind of limits your exposure to the market and the number of people that may want to buy your house potentially. And also, don't forget that if you own, say, 50% and then you decide later down the line that you want to own 60%, you can do this, you can buy more, almost like a staircase kind of going up, 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 up. However, when this happens, you may need to get the house revalued. So if the property prices have gone up, which over time they generally have, then you're probably going to be paying more for that house than you originally were. So this may or may not be a good strategy unless you get it in a housing crisis where the prices are going down. However, there is a big benefit of this. If you're over 55 and looking to get into the property market, or you want to buy a house, then you can take advantage of a scheme called OPSO, where you can basically do a share ownership, and if you buy up to 75% of the house, then after that you won't get charged any rent on the 25%. Sure, it means that you don't necessarily own the place and 25% is still owned by the housing agency, but you don't have to pay any rent on it. So after that, you can take advantage of kind of only paying for 75%. And I guess this is great until maybe you want to sell it in the future. So once again, this guide is mainly for people in the UK, and the government is investing pretty heavily into trying to get new people onto the housing market. They've also introduced a scheme called the Starter Home Scheme. This basically is a scheme which has not started yet, but if you go to the link in the description and you can see the article on the screen here, then you can go and sign up and register your interest. This basically means that there's 200,000 new build homes that the government is in the process of building or is about to build. And for any people wanting to get onto the housing market and buy their first house aged under 40 years old, they can buy them with up to 20% off market value, which is absolutely insane. And what I do want to say is that don't feel like you can't mix and match and combine the methods. You could probably get a lifetime ISA or a LISA, which is, as I said, is my preferred method because it seems the simplest and it's tax-free and it's free money. And you could combine this with this scheme. So like you could be winning, you could get free money and 20% off. I mean, it's bargains everywhere, you know? So I'm definitely going to be signing up to hear more about this scheme, and maybe it's something, if you're looking to get onto the property market soon, that you might want to do as well. Another scheme here is the right to buy if you live in a council property. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this because maybe it doesn't apply to kind of everyone and it's not maybe as general, but you can see on the screen here the information about the right to buy scheme, and you can look at the kind of right to buy calculator to see if you are eligible for this. And if you go to that, you can figure out if you are able to buy that property. Again, there's a few restrictions and kind of eligibility requirement. So make sure that you check that if you want to be in a position to do this. All of the schemes that I've mentioned so far have been kind of additional things that you can do on top of the last method, which is kind of your investments and regular savings in order to get the money together to buy a house. So I've done a few different videos before on saving money and investing and kind of basic tips for investing beginners. These ones can be great to automate your saving and to begin saving up that process for a house. However, what I would do if you are if you're thinking about buying a house, is to work out roughly what your price margin and what it is that you're looking for, because you can then work backwards, and as with anything, I think you need a goal to be able to work towards. So say you want to buy a £400,000 house. If you go onto Google and you can type in like financial calculator or mortgage calculator, you can work out roughly how much the value is of the houses that you want to buy. And maybe you could do this by looking on Rightmove and other kind of property websites to figure out exactly what it is that you're after. And then you can work backwards and say, okay, well, how much do I need to save, or how much do I want to save in order to get like the best mortgage deal? And what things can I do to kind of take advantage of it? Could I sign up for the starter home scheme? Could I get a lifetime ISA? Could I get the shared ownership scheme? You could do a combination of things, and then you can work out a clear financial plan where you can automate your savings or maybe automate your investments so that you're in a position to buy a house sooner rather than later. And if you're looking to buy sooner, then definitely take advantage of the Help to Buy equity loan, which, as I said, has been extended to 2023. But after that, maybe it'll be replaced, maybe it won't. Who knows? So I hope this video has given you the information that you need in order to make a decision and to start saving your money, and a guide on how to save towards buying your first house in 2021. If you've enjoyed it or if it's been helpful, please feel free to give it a like. And while you're there, why not subscribe? And if you really enjoyed it, then you can click on another video which will pop up on your screen in a minute and watch more Max Talks content there. Every week on this channel, I like to do a comment of the week where I shout out someone that's commented below. And last week's comment of the week was by Ty Lithium, and he said this. So make sure to leave a comment below. And if you want to be featured in next week's video, comment below, I'm gonna buy a mansion, because why not? You're gonna use all of these and you're gonna buy a big house. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. So what actually is it? Basically, it's a low interest loan